Now, Rochdale Council is calling for anyone with evidence of illegal activity relating to the council's oversight of social services in the early 1990s to come forward. It's already started examining files from the period when the former Co-op Bank chair, Paul Flowers, was a leading councillor involved in social services. One of the cases it will revisit is the systemic abuse of boys that took place at Knollview School. Tonight, we've spoken exclusively to a health worker who warned at the time that there would be a public scandal if action wasn't taken. Ed Hauker reports.
It's been a tough week for Reverend Paul Flowers, fighting allegations that have led every national newspaper, allegations of drug use and expenses fraud, and questions about his suitability to run the Co-op Bank. But now further questions are being asked about his past in the late 1980s and early 1990s while a councillor in Rochdale. Last night, Channel 4 News revealed that now Rochdale Council are beginning an investigation into Paul Flowers and his time as a senior Labour councillor and vice chair of the Social Services Committee in the town. It was an era when Rochdale faced repeated accusations of failing to act appropriately in child abuse cases. One big case from Rochdale in that era continues to cast its shadow: Knollview, a residential school set up by disgraced MP Cyril Smith in the 1960s, where boys aged 8 to 16 were abused, and some claim social services failed to adequately investigate. Phil Shepherd was a health worker who visited the school and alerted authorities. He has never spoken publicly before.
Here were young boys, variety of ages, travelling to the town centre, prostituting themselves in the public toilets in town. Everybody seemed to know about it. We heard that people were coming away from as far away as Yorkshire, Sheffield. They knew about what was going on, abusing these boys, and it was just continuing. It wasn't being stopped. Had I received that report on my desk as a member of social services, education, whatever, I would have visited the writer of the report to talk to them about it and to at least give some feedback.
This was March 1991. At the time, the Reverend Paul Flowers was Vice Chair of the Social Services Committee at Rochdale Council. As these documents reveal, he was copied into a letter explaining that Social Services was investigating Shepherd's concerns about the school. But that investigation was dropped. Just 2 months after the alarm was raised, Social Services interviewed 6 boys, found it wasn't within the authorities' guidelines on child protection and that there was no case to answer. Martin Deegan was a care worker at the school who feels not enough was done.
The council knew everything about the abuse at Knollview School, about the paedophile on the premises, about the men coming from Sheffield, taxis to Manchester, and they did absolutely nothing.
In fact, there was an inquiry. Reporting 1 year after Flowers had left his post, it found that 25% of the boys at Knollview were involved in serious sexual incidents. There's no evidence that Paul Flowers knew about the abuse, but as Rochdale Council begin their investigation into his role on the council, there are inevitable questions about whether more could have been done to prevent further abuse at the school. Do you feel that Rochdale Council owes the boys at this school an apology?
A very big one, I would say. A very big one.
Paul Flowers isn't making any comment at this time. Rochdale Council say they're doing all they can to investigate. They encourage anyone with information about wrongdoing to come forward.
Ed Hauker reporting from Rochdale.